Hello and welcome to Lesson 22, pages 170 and 171. This is a song titled London Bridge in our Level 1 book. And London Bridge is now using the notes A and B in the left hand that we've been practicing on some of our previous songs. And the challenge of this song is to know when to use your right hand and when to use your left hand for middle C as well. Now you may say, well, can't I just use one finger for middle C because the song is still going to sound the same? Well, remember, we're not just trying to make the song sound a certain way. We're trying to test some of our reading skills and make sure we can see when middle C should be played in the right hand and when it should be played in the left hand. Okay, so that is the special challenge of this song to help us with our reading. All right, so let's hop in to some of our notes on the staff. So we're going to need A, B, C, D, E, and F for this song. Let's see, actually, is there any Fs? Is there an F? Okay, I guess no Fs. So A up to E for this song. So let's start by going over some of our symbols. Remember, we're here with the grand staff. So there goes my bad circle. The grand staff, that's going to mean right hand and left hand. And we have our 4/4 time, which means 4 beats in every measure. And the bottom number means a quarter note equals 1 beat. That 4, so it needs to be 4 quarter notes or walk notes in every measure or something equal to it. Like this we see a lot with 2 quarter notes and a half note equaling 4 beats. And those are the different types of rhythms that repeat in this song. The only other one would be this quarter note to dotted half note. Remember, these dotted half notes get 3 beats. So let's get our hands set up to play London Bridge. So right here we can see the number 2, so finger 2, and it's in the right hand because this is treble clef, and that's a D. So finger number 2 on D. Take my right hand, finger 1, 2, we're going to place right on D. Okay, that means my thumb is on middle C, second finger's on D, and my third finger is on E. Now, we discovered we're not going to need F after all, and we are not going to need G either, but we're going to keep our fingers there and do what's called a 5-finger pattern with all of our fingers on the piano. Okay, so my right hand is set up on D. Very good. Now what we're going to do is look at the left hand as well. So I can hop over to measure 2 and see, hey, there's another finger number 2 here, but this is left hand because it's bass clef, and it says finger number 2 needs to be on B. So I'll take my left hand and do finger 1, 2, and place that on B, which means my finger number 3 is going to be on A, my 4 is going to be on G, and my 5 is going to be on F. Now we don't need F and G in the left hand, but we do need A and B. And you'll say, well, what about my thumb? Well, your thumb is kind of sharing this space in middle C. And what we're going to do is we're going to switch using the right hand thumb or the left hand thumb, depending on the measure. But before we do that, let's get used to which finger's on which note. We're going to play 5 of each note. So we're going to play 5 A's, 5 B's, 5 C's, 5 D's, and 5 E's. There's the 5 notes that we need to play this song, okay? And we're in the right fingering. Remember, finger 2 on B, finger 2 on D will get you to that right hand position. Very good. Let's start with 5 A's in our left hand. 1, 2, here we go. Say it and play it. A, that's 2, A, A. Now let's do finger 2 on B and go. B, 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 B. Now I'll let you choose either left hand or right hand thumb for middle C. I'll just do left and go. C, 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 C. And now let's try finger 2 on D and go. D, 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 and now finger 3 in the right hand on E and go. E, 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 E. Very nice. And that, students, remember, will help us remember which finger is on which note when we're playing our song, so we can keep our eyes up on the music. Well, let's take a look at our first line here. So we start with D, E, D, C, and that important note is C. What do you think? Is this the right hand or the left hand we need to play this C with? It is the right hand. See how the middle C is higher? This was something we reviewed really early on in our books, but it's good to review. When middle C is up higher in the treble staff area, that's when we're going to use our right hand. How about I draw an R and an L here to help us remember? Very good. So this means middle C, right hand. And now that we're moving on to measure 2, let's see, we have B, C, D. Oh, so we have another C, but look, students, see how it is a little different? And it means that we're going to use the left hand on this C. So I'll put a little reminder here. Left hand. Very good. And moving on to measure 3, we have A, B, C. Well, that C is back up in the treble staff, which means right hand for this one. Okay, so as we practice this first line, I'll keep those little reminders there, and then we'll remove them after we're ready to play it at a steady beat. So what we're going to do is get into our hand position. We're going to say and play the notes, and we don't have to worry about the timing too much. We're going to try and follow it, but right now we're just trying to get used to which finger's playing which note and saying the notes out loud. Then we'll try it at a steady beat. Okay, so this is a great practice method you could do through the whole song, which we will certainly do today. Okay, so my finger 2 is on D, my finger 2 is on B, my thumbs are ready. Let's go nice and slow. I'll say 1, 2, here we go, and we're going to say the notes and play them. 1, 2, here we go. So right hand, D, E, back to D, then right hand thumb C, C. Now let's move to measure 2, left hand finger 2, B, left hand on C. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and C. And now we're going to play a D for 2. Very nice. Moving on to measure 3, 1, 2, here we go. Measure 3, we have A, B, and right hand middle C for 2. And you know what? This is actually going to work better if we do this song in 4 measure groups. So let's go ahead and try that out. So we'll move on to measure 4 as well. Let's loop that one in there, students. So if this is right hand, what do we think about measure 4? This one is left hand. So we play B, C, D here. Let's quickly get our hands ready and add that measure 4 here. So we're starting in measure 4. 1, 2, here we go. Play B, left hand C, and then a D for 2. Very good. All right, now that is pretty tricky if it's our first time around, okay? So if you're still getting used to which note, you might not be ready to try that at a steady beat, and that is totally okay. Keep going through it nice and slow, saying those notes out loud, saying whether you're using your right and your left hand for that good practice. But we're going to try it nice and slow here, okay? So 1, 2, here we go. Play D, E, D, right hand C, measure 2 B, B, left hand C, C, and D for 2, measure 3, A, B, now right hand C, C, for 2, left hand, start with B, B, left hand C, C, then a D for 2, and off. Very, very nice. And now let's move on to the next 4 measures in our song. So starting with measure 5, and students, we're going to hop over to the second page as well. We're going to go over to measure 8. So measures 5 through 8, just a little bit better of a way to work through the songs. It'll keep the measures nice and even if we do it in 4 measure pairs and groupings. So starting off, we get the same thing we had in measure 1. all right hand, D, E, D, C. So we need to add that right hand. Oops, let me get that back. And there's our right hand. Very nice. And now measure 6. Let's see. So this one is B, C. What do you think, students? Left or right hand? 3, 2, 1. Left hand. That's the right answer. So left hand here for this one because it's closer to the bass clef. Now, students, you might say, well, I can tell because of the stem of the note. I wanted to mention this. And that's true. That is a helpful way to see. You can see how it flips the stem. But that's just with the quarter notes, half notes, and dotted half notes, or eighth notes as well, which is a lot of our rhythms. But if it was a whole note, for example, remember, it's not going to have that stem. The C is either going to be lower down here or higher up here. So don't let the stem be the only way we know the difference. Make sure we can see whether it's higher or lower on the staff. Okay, so measure 7, we get something brand new. We have an A for 2, and then a D for 2. A for 2, and then a D for 2 as well. Very nice. And then we end with a B, G. Oh my goodness, students, this G kind of escaped me at the beginning. We didn't review that G note in the left hand. Well, let's go back to our notes quick and loop ourselves in. So we had finger 2, so that means our finger 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 was already covering G. We're just gonna have to add that one in there, you guys. So we are gonna play in measure 8, B, then a G for 2, 3, and off. Okay, that's our dotted half note. Whew, we missed that G. Maybe you caught it at the beginning and already warmed up with it. Great work. Okay, let's try to play the notes nice and slow. Make sure we're playing middle C with the correct finger. We're going to do 5, 6, 7, and 8, just at a slow speed, saying the notes out loud, okay? A little bit out of time. 1, 2, here we go. Start with D, D. Now let's play an E, E, back to D. Now make sure right hand, middle C, and C. Measure 6, left hand B, B. Say the notes out loud. Left hand C now, C. Then a D for 2. And now measure 7, we're going to play finger 3 on A in the left hand. A for 2, back to D, finger 2 in the right hand. 2, or D for 2. And now we're going to play left hand, finger 2 on B in measure 8, and go. And now finger 4, the note we missed at the beginning, G for 2, 3, and off. Very nice. And let's try that at a steady beat. Remember, you can come back to that if you're not ready. That's okay. 1, 2, here we go, and D, E, D, right hand C, C, measure 6, B, left hand C, and then right hand finger 2, D for 2, measure 7, left hand finger 3 on A for 2, then right hand finger 2 on D for 2, left hand, B, G, 3, 4, and off. Excellent, excellent work. And moving forward in our song, it looks like measures 9 through 12 are the exact same as 1 through 4. So let's give those a steady beat try here for the extra practice. So hands ready, we're going to try that at a steady beat. 1, 2, here we go, right hand, D, E, D. Do you remember? It's right hand C, now measure 10, B, left hand C, and then a D for 2, D for 2, measure 11, left hand A, B, right hand C, C for 2, measure 12, B, left hand C, and a D for 2. Very, very nice work. And now let's look at the last 4 measures of our song, 13 to the end. We have the same thing as measures 5 through 8. Okay, so we're going to try that also at a steady beat. Here we go. And we're trying to remember now without labeling which C is the right hand. So remember, measure 13 is right hand, measure 14 is left hand. 1, 2, here we go. Play D, E, D, right hand C, C, measure 14, B, left hand C, and then a right hand D, 4, 2, now A with finger 3 left hand, A, 4, 2, D, 4, 2, now our B, G, B, G, 3, 4, and off. Fantastic job. Now let's go back to the beginning of our song. We're going to do our first steady beat playthrough of London Bridge. I'm going to pick up the speed just a little bit for this playthrough. If you're not ready for it yet, that's okay. Keep practicing it in 4 measure segments, or even you can go smaller than that. And when you're ready, try and come back to this steady beat, okay? Here we go. Hands ready. 1, 2, here we go. And D, E, D, right hand C, C, B, C, D, 4, 2, measure 3, A, B, C, 4, 2, measure 4, B, left hand C, and right hand D, 4, 2, measure 5, D, E, D, right hand C, left, left, right, 4, 2, left hand A, 4, 2, D, 4, 2, B, G, 3, 4, measure 9, D, E, D, right hand C, C, measure 10, left, left, right, 4, 2, left, left, right, 4, 2, measure 12, left, left hand C, and then a D, last line, right, right, D, C, measure 14, B, left hand C, D, 4, 2, and A, 4, 2, and D, 4, 2, and B, G, 3, 4, and off. Very nice. This is a challenging song, so congratulations on making through London Bridge, and I will see you on the next piece.